Good evening, everyone. We are Facebook Live. This is Mo Vibe on the rise, and I hope you're rising as well. It is a wonderful Wednesday evening, and this is Wealth Building Wednesday. So Sunday we came to you with some nuggets of truth. Then we followed up on Monday 3 times, and we had an amazing time talking about mental makeover, money makeover, and makeup with Mary Kay makeover. Well, tonight I am bringing to you a very important nugget of truth on finances. And in talking about finances, this is Wealth Building Wednesday, I want to jump right in because we're going to learn it so we can live it and we can lead it. Oh, it's been so amazing, kings and queens, this journey that I'm on. It's been so exciting. I've had some mental relaxation where I'm able to captivate some daily motivations and bring it to you fresh and hot off the press. We don't just come here to talk cute. We come here to walk in clarity, to walk in character, and to walk in cash flow, where we turn information into transformation. So again, we had Spiritual Sunday, then we had Makeover Monday. Well, yesterday was Teachable Tuesday, and because of the material, I decided to wait until today. But I need to pause right here because I need to clear some things up. I do want to say this though. If you miss any of them, go back and watch because they were so very important that I'm sure that it will bless your life because lives were shifted. Again, I need to pause right here because I've got to clear up some things. Confusion where people were asking me, well, do you still do hair? Well, I thought you do weddings. Well, do you still do the church thing too? Well, what do you do? Because I want to know who you are. So I'm so glad you asked. Who am I and how I serve you? This is a clarifying moment. Put it in your notebook. I am Andrea Monique Green, transformational strategist, where I help individuals and organizations master their mindset, move their mission, and multiply their money while protecting their purposes through clarity, compliance, and systems that build structure and strategy so that they can create generational legacy and rise in life, leadership, and wealth. Let me explain this a little bit clearer. You may see me wearing many hats. Those hats I may be a business consultant in one hat and transformation coach strategist in the other hat, or a licensed cosmetologist in the other hat, or insurance agent in another hat, or corporate compliance officer wearing that other hat, or a spoken word poet wearing the other hat. I could be doing a training or a motivational speaking moment. And then sometimes the Lord hit me where I'm giving a word of truth through the pastoral movement, okay? But in all those, they feed one mission, and that is to educate, equip, and empower and encourage and elevate people to grow internally, to build externally, and to protect what they create. So whether I'm teaching you how to open a behavior healthcare business or build it, or fix your credit, or how to heal from a divorce, since I've been there, or style your hair, or maybe even do a beauty care treatment or regimen, skincare, I am the ultimate goal and mission, helping you transform and rise. I don't want you to forget that because that's very important to me. I might wear a lot of hats, but at the end of the day, it's about you transforming and rising. So today, we're here to teach transformation and help you turn what you've learned into what you can lead and what you lead into generational wealth. So we're going to dive right in, as I told you before, but I need you to get the core of this thing. The core is what you learn determines what you lead, right? Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Today, I want to break down 3 truths that every rising entrepreneur, parent, faith leader, or organization need and must understand. Number 1, you can't lead what you haven't learned. You can't multiply what you don't manage. You can't protect what you never prepared for. And you cannot build a legacy on borrowed confidence. Before you build anything, you need to learn about how to build it. Before you teach anything, Not only have you gone through it, but you grew through it. If I didn't, I'll get to it in a second. Before you brand something, you need to know your true identity. I had to learn business compliance before I could consult. When I became the national accreditation consultant, I had to learn it. And it took a lot of years of practice. It took a lot of years of studying the materials and going to these different conferences and educating myself and investing in myself before I could be the corporate compliance officer at an agency. And it was ever learning because things were ever changing. In order to minister or coach someone, I went through trauma, right? But in those traumatic moments, I had to heal before I could give it to you. I mean, if I'm still broken, I'm only serving partial product, and that's not well for the person that's the recipient. Now I'm teaching what I learned and the things that I've experienced. And that is where your transformation can happen because hopefully you don't have to go through the same things that I went through. Let me give you number two. Teach what transformed you. We got to stop holding in the lessons that healed us. We got to stop thinking that people only want perfection. Sometimes when you hurting right then, I just want what you can give me right now to soothe this pain because right now you got one step closer to my healing than I had before I met you, right? So share. Share how you made it through your moment. People need truth, strategy, and testimony. Because at the end of the day, our lessons are all valuable. Your pain was not wasted. Your journey, even though it might seem like a hard one to some, it is your curriculum. It is your classroom, and your testimony is your teaching tool. At the end of the day, once you grasp that and take hold of that, you understand the dynamic power you hold within. The third thing I want to tell you about this core content is your systems teach people how to treat you. Whatever you let get by, you're teaching someone else how to treat you. Through structure, systems, and protection, they are all essential to your legacy. And people follow structure. So if your life, business, household lacks systems, boundaries, and or clarity, people will treat you accordingly. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate going to work in a workplace and there is no instruction, there is no detail. Now, if you telling me this is a job that I want done, and you have the ability to use your creative space to produce the product, I love it. But if you don't give me any instruction, because you don't have you everywhere, you don't have the structure to give me, and I create my own structure, then don't penalize me for creating a system that's working. Oh, many people are leading families, ministries, businesses, and schools, but they are leading from a place. See, before I got to hear phone won't even ring. But they're leading from a place of survival rather than strategy. And guess what? That ends today. This is why in my business, I teach structure, strategy, spiritual alignment, and systems of protection because we need systems to stay elevated. We need to put things in place that as we learn to turn information into income, it also takes wisdom and turns it into wealth. So remember that thing that I just told you now. What you learn determines what you lead. You can't lead what you haven't learned, and you can't multiply what you haven't managed or don't know how to manage. And you can't protect what you never prepared for, which leads to our feature lesson for today. Thank you. Hopefully, those who are here have chimed in and we can move forward. Oh, do I have some good business for you today? Okay. I want to give you 7 ways to build wealth while you're alive. People have this misconception that I'm going to just leave it for the kids. Why you can't live your legacy now? And why you can't live in what God has already promised you right now. Now, if God told you to wait, then you wait and you be obedient. You be obedient and you wait, right? But there are some things that we're not really waiting. It's just that we don't know how to get it. So that's why we waiting. So tonight I'm gonna help you with a couple of things. Um, I want to start by saying, number one, I hope you got your pen and paper, your journal. Let's go. Turn your talent into income. Use what comes naturally to you by teaching, styling, cooking, whatever that thing is. It could be organizing. You make a list of your top 3 skills, offer your services on social media for a flat rate, and ask for testimonials in exchange for a discount. With Elevating You, book a clarity call now to help you identify your top talent. And then you join my Level Up Your Life coaching program, and I'll help you as much as I can get to where you need to be. Number 2, turn your passion into profits. And you can send an email to info at ELEV, the number 8, NUSRVICES.com, and I will be sure to reply. Turn your passion into profits. That's number 2. What does that mean? That thing that you love, monetize it. And you can start now. Now, one is your talent, but the other one is your passion. So you could turn your talent into income, number 1, or you could turn your passion into profits. Such as if you like to write an ebook or a guide or a journal or an hour class workshop or a Zoom, and turn that into a digital product. We can help. Number 3, grow your business economically. What you need is an accountability partner to help you grow your business. I am talking to so many people right now that's suffering in their businesses, but that's only because they didn't tap into the resources that were available to them. You don't need thousands of dollars to scale, just systems, strategy, and structure. One of the companies I was helping, this was a few years back, they had 2 offices, they had about 20 employees, and some of those employees were doing the very same job. Some of those people were not necessary. I was able to help that company save $300,000. So if I helped them save $300,000, how much do you think they were making? Another company, paperwork was not right. As the corporate compliance, I came into the company, I started looking at what things need to be changed. Not only did I show them the problem, I offered them a solution, saved them $140,000. Another company, and the list goes on, the testimonials go on. So what I'm saying to you is sometimes it's not about making more money, it's about what are you doing with the money you're already making. Yeah, that part. Take a look at that budget and see how you can scale and how you can allocate that money elsewhere so that the business can grow better. Number, what was the other number? What number were we on? What number were we on? Y'all supposed to keep me ooh, see how y'all do? Okay, number 4. That's what number we're on. Okay, number 4, monetize your message. Okay, so first we talked about your talent. Then we talked about, what was the second one? Anybody know? Your passion. And then we started talking about if you already have a business, to grow that business. Now we're talking about monetizing your message. If you had a story, a struggle, or a healing, that is valuable. People pay for guidance, not perfection. Point blank, period. Right? So go live and teach what you've been through. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I've been telling people what I've been going through for free for many years. But you want to turn your life lessons into a paid product. Launch a podcast or speaker series from your phone. Whatever you need to do, monetize it. Because we're in a day and time where every single thing and every single person in the household need to be working. If you want to survive this day and time, put some Jesus on it and Jesus will anoint that thing and bless you and you can continue moving in Him. Number 5, master your mindset to multiply your money. Your financial beliefs shape your bank account. Wealth begins with worth. How much do you think you're worth? And I used to get beat up all the time because I've been a cosmetologist since I was 18 and I'm now years old. And so it's been about let's see, 31 years. Yeah. And so in when I was doing hair, I remember I used to charge $5. And then I remember charging $15. And then I got to 25 and got stuck. I went to work to this beauty shop and the lady was like, we charge $75 for a relaxer and you over here charging 50. What you doing? Like 45, what you doing? And she said, you need to start charging what you're worth. And so the moment that I realized my worth, yes, my income definitely changed. And so you need to realize how much you're worth. One of the things that you can do to start now is to track every dollar you spend and earn every week, during the week, every day, really. And then after that, you want to say it out loud. I deserve to build wealth while I live. Because the things that you say, as we talked about on Monday, you change your life. You change your life. You change your world. You change your community. You change your family. You change everything about you with your mouth. So the other thing I want to tell you is unfollow anything online that speaks lack. If it speaks lack, it's not for you. Okay. Number six, invest in income producing skills. Learn something that will make you money immediately, not just a college degree. Because as you see, everybody doesn't value the college degree like some people do, some people don't. So you want to have some other skills under your belt. I recommend a vocation, but you look that up. You look up what can be a trade to your vocation. If you have a job, what can your trade skills be? For example, I teach school. We out for the summer now, but my skill sets are all the other things I mentioned to you at the beginning of this broadcast, right? So I do hair, so that's my extra money. I do Mary Kay, that's my extra money. I do insurance because those things feed into my vision, and you have to decide what is your mission, what is your vision, what is your motto. All right, next, number seven. Out of all the things that you do, one, two, three, four, five, and six, number seven, you have to protect what you're building because wealth without protection is a liability. You need to lock in your assets, your family, and your business. Now, tell me how we do this because I'm about to move on to the next thing. I hope you got your seatbelt on. You have to review your insurance coverage if you have some. If you don't have some, the first thing you need to do is get coverage to protect the vision that you have set before you. God is expecting us to be good stewards of the vision that He's given us. So what are we doing to protect it? Okay. So now let's talk about it. We're gonna talk about this insurance thing a little bit because I think that people are very misconstrued as it pertains to insurance. All right, let's talk about some of the myths. Well, I don't want to talk about the myths. We're just gonna jump right in because I'm gonna tell you the truth as I cover this information. Okay, so y'all know how I told you I switch hats? Okay, so I just gave you the motivational speaking part. Now I'm about to put the hat on of insurance, licensed insurance producer. As an insurance professional, it is part of your wealth journey to protect your assets because it's not always about how much money you make. It's about how and what you protect so that you can pass it down. In talking about life insurance, this is the most slept on strategy for financial independence. Want me to tell you why? Because people think life insurance is just for death, and it's not. Life insurance should be able to be used for leverage, legacy, and the living benefits. And I'll explain very shortly. Let me talk about who's the best candidate for to be insured for insurance. You want to make sure that you position yourself for coverage, protection, and the peace of mind. Being insurable isn't just about getting approved for the life insurance. It's not just about, oh gosh, yes, I got 100,000 worth. The amount of money usually is affordable according to your health, your weight, and your age. But we want to protect our health, our wealth, and our legacy. Not just when we die. Because people be like, I gotta get this insurance policy for my family. But what about when you're alive? The better your insurability, the more options, benefits, and affordability you unlock. I need you to know that. Here's how to put yourself in the best position. Number one, know what the carriers are looking for. Carrier companies evaluate your age, your overall health, your medical history, your current conditions, how often you go to the doctor, if you go regularly, if you take your meds, and if you're taking them on time. What's your lifestyle choices? Do you smoke, drink alcohol, use drugs? Because if so, your premium is going to be high. If you have financial stability, they want to know where you work because they want to know if you could pay the policy. Your driving record and criminal history, because the younger and healthier you are, the more coverage you can afford at a lower premium, lower price every month, right? Number two, you want to keep your medical profile up to date by getting your annual checkups. It's very, very important. Whether you own a business, you're a parent, if you're putting a policy, even putting a policy on a child, you want to make sure you put it on the most healthiest child that you have. And as a parent, you want to put it on the healthiest parent. Hopefully, all parents have insurance on them so that if something happens to them, which most parents think I'll probably die before my children, You want to make sure that you as a parent you're protected properly. Not just protected, but protected properly. Because if you have $300,000 worth of bills and your burial was $50,000 and you only have a $10,000 policy, are you covered properly? No. But somebody has to pay those bills even after you have left. So what you just did was created a hole for your family that they got to figure out how to dig out of because you didn't put the proper plans in place for your family. You also want to keep track of your medications, your diagnosis, and any of your recent lab work. Address health issues proactively, which means preventive care is better than reactive care. Oh, I found out I have high blood pressure, so now I'm on the pills. Versus if I could eat right and I have to be on the pills. Okay, so you see where I'm going with this? Number three, maintain a clean lifestyle. Quit smoking or vaping. Premiums for those who smoke is a lot higher. Tobacco use significantly increases premiums. If you tell them you're gonna quit, sometimes they'll give you a little, let me see how they do in a year to see if they're doing better. And you can't lie about it because when you put in your application, they check the medical records, the medical record bureau. Like they're looking up there's a thing called a medical bureau where they can see when the last time you've been to the doctor and what kind of medication you're supposed to be on, if you've been taking them regularly, so on and so forth. Another thing you want to do is manage stress and your mental health and maintain a healthy weight and exercise routine. Number four, check your financial standing. You want to maintain a solid credit score because sometimes that also determines how much your premium is. Avoid excessive debt and have a steady source of income. Why does this matter? Because some insurers look at a financial behavior as well to access the risk and responsibility, especially if you're trying to get $1 million policy. Anytime you're trying to get a larger policy, they want to see how you pay your bills. If it's an investment linked insurance, they want to see what does your income look like. So number five is be transparent in your applications because they're going to find out anyway. And then what'll happen is they'll cut off your policy immediately and you will no longer have coverage and everything you've invested, whether it's term, whether it's a UL or IUL or a whole life policy, it will be null and void because you lied. Inaccuracies on an application for insurance can lead to denial or cancellation and sometimes imprisonment, depending on what kind of policy you have. Number six, you want to start early and don't wait because life insurance is cheaper when you're younger. I know a lot of younger kids that are, well, I call them younger kids, but they're young people in their 20s. They be like, I'm not getting on insurance. I ain't nothing gonna happen to me. But those are the ones that have a lot higher risk of having accidents. They have higher risk of not just car accidents, but because of alcohol and drugs, or they feel like nothing gonna happen to me. So they're the ones jumping out they bungee jumpers and jumping out of buildings and saying, see, I can fly, stuff like that and leaving the bill behind for the parent when it just didn't work. Like, come on now. But if you invest into a policy at a very young age, you'll be able to maintain that lower premium as you grow older. All right. Depending on what kind of policy you have. So when your health changes unexpectedly, now what do you do? That's why you want to be able to lock in rates when you're younger and you can have long-term coverage. Number seven, understand your policy types. There are three primary that I like to work with, kind of four. One is term life. This one has affordable coverage for a set time. Then you have your whole life. So think term. Term is like this. Whole life is your entire life. Term is blocks of life. So like you might could get a 10-year policy or a 20-year policy or a 30-year policy for term. Term is always cheaper. If you do a whole life policy, that means they're going to cover you for as long as you live. Usually they go up to an age 100 and some change, right? And then you have, but that whole life term doesn't build cash value. Your whole life does. And so when you're talking about building cash value and it lasts your entire life, of course that policy is going to cost more. But then you have what you call the hybrid. And that is where you take a little bit of term or a little bit of whole, put it together. That is what you call your universal life policy. And so you're able to get a few years of term and then this much of whole, and it makes the policy cheaper. So you're right smack in the middle of what would have been the cheapest versus what would have been the most expensive. This would be a UL in the middle. And then you have your index universal life, which is the living benefits, the wealth transfer, and the tax advantages. Now, If you work with me, all of my policies have living benefits. Thank you, Lord. Okay. And I'll go into more about what those living benefits are very shortly. But I need you to understand what you work with, because I don't want you to be caught by surprise and then sitting there saying nobody told me. Andrea Monique Green, Coach Mo Vibe with Elevating You Services just told you. So if you don't get insurance, it's because you didn't want to listen to what I had to say. So let's go back to these types of insurance and so I can break them down. Your term insurance is the most affordable. Again, it covers you for a specific term, 10, 20, or 30 years, and it expires because it builds no cash value. It does expire in the 10 year, the end of the 20 year, or the end of the 30 year. Your whole life insurance lasts a lifetime. Your premiums never increase, and it builds cash value slowly. The good thing about insurance, whole life insurance, is you can borrow against it. So if I have an emergency that comes in my family or into my life and I need to pull out of that whole policy, I can pull out and there's no penalty. There may be a fee that's assessed for pulling it out, but you don't have to go to a bank and get your credit checked and all, and, all of that good stuff to pull out of your policy. As long as you pay it back, you will return back to the state of how much that policy is. Okay. Now, the hybrid universal life, which is UL as we call them, or the index universal life is the IUL. They have flexible premiums. They include cash value growth because it comes with some tie-in to the stock market. Now, I love talking about these because this is where you really grow your money. It allows you the IULs allow you to grow your money with compound interest. You can avoid market crashes when you invest into this one because you don't lose whatever you gain, unlike the stock market. And you can borrow against your policy tax free. And this is my favorite part, especially if you are a business owner, you become your own bank. What do I mean by that? One of the three things that you need to understand, as I told you before, is you want to have access to leverage, those living benefits. And let me talk about the leverage first. I don't want to move too fast. So when we're talking about leverage, you want to turn your policy, your life insurance policy, into financial power while you're still alive. Let me give you an example. I'm gonna read this scenario um because I think it's relative. Let's say that you're a 45-year-old entrepreneur who owns a behavioral health agency and you purchase a $250,000 IUL policy and you contribute $300 a month to that policy. What do we say? It has flexible premium. It increases in cash value growth because it's tied to the market, and it allows you to grow your money with compound interest. You can avoid the market crashes. You can borrow against this policy tax free, and you just became your own bank, right? Okay. So after, let's say, 8 years, retirement is gone because of everything going on in this economy right now. Your policy will not lose its value. That policy over 8 to 10 years, maybe, it built up to 25,000 in cash value through interest. And because it's tied to the S&P 500, there is no stock market risk. The S&P 500 is short for Standard and Poor's 500 Index, which is a stock market index that tracks the performance of 500 of the largest publicly traded companies in the United States of America. So if you decide to get an IUL and you want to invest, this is the best, one of the best vehicles that you can invest in, that there's not a penalty for pulling out. Okay. I want you to think of it as the S&P 500 is a snapshot of the overall U.S. economy. It includes companies like Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, which we can now call Meta, Johnson and Johnson, Walmart, those kind of places, and a whole lot more of tech, healthcare, energy, and finance companies. So, why does this matter for insurance? When you buy an IUL policy, because it's tied to the performance of the S&P, you're able to capitalize on the compound interest. But this is the key difference. Your money is not invested directly into the stock market. Instead, the insurance companies credit your policy's interest based on how the S&P 500 performs. So the good thing is it does not bottom out. So let me tell you some more benefits. When the S&P 500 goes up, your cash value in your insurance policy, that compound interest I was telling you about, it grows up to a cap of like 10 to 12%. When the S&P goes down, you don't lose anything. So you're protected by a floor that's usually zero, not negative. Okay. So when the stock market growth potential has a market loss, you don't lose. But if there's a win, you really win. Let me give you another clear explanation. When you own an IUL, your money grows when they do well. Unlike a 401k or a stock portfolio, you don't lose when the market crashes. You get to grow without the risk. So now, let's say you need a loan because you hire staff and you need to, or you need to expand your office, right? You could borrow $15,000 from this policy, tax free, no credit check, no bank involved, as long as $15,000 is available on your policy. The death benefit stays intact. It might be reduced slightly, but the policy will keep earning interest as if the money was still in the account. Come on now. Don't that sound good? I know it do. I sold some of these policies, and when I tell you, my clients, they like the IULs, especially my business clients. You just became your own bank. You leverage insurance to fund your business's growth without debt, risk, or penalties. Get you one of them IULs, okay? Call me right now. Text me, because I know you want it. 252-341-8452, and I will come and set you up right now. If you own a beauty shop, you own a behavioral health agency, you own any kind of agency, you own any kind of business, protect yourself. And the good thing is, not only are you able to borrow against it if you need it, but you're also protecting your assets. You're protecting your family in the process. Number two, that first one was leverage. Now we're going to talk about legacy. Protect your family and create generational wealth with a guaranteed payout. So let's say you're a single mom, you have 3 kids. You want to make sure that they're taken care of no matter what. So you get you a 500,000 IUL policy. I would suggest that you get it on one of the youngest children that you have and pay on it. Okay? Because normally the youngest kids are the healthiest. But let's just say it wasn't. But I will say it'd be cheaper if you put it on one of the kids. Let's say you were age 35 and we could get you a premium of like 100 a month because you have such great health. Heaven forbid something happened to you when you were age 52. Your children will receive a full $500,000 death benefit tax free. I ain't talking about what I heard. I'm talking about what I know. Because it's the IUL, your children will also inherit a policy that's been building that compound interest and cash value for years. So then they can use it for college, they can use it to buy a house, they can use it to buy a car, they can launch a business, they can use it as retirement funding. And your insurance plan, this is the result. It didn't just bury you, it built your kids' future. All right, all right, all right. I know you excited. I know it's good stuff, isn't it? This is why I didn't let my insurance license lapse. So y'all can talk about me all you want to, having 50,000 businesses, but I'm not gonna let that go. Okay. Number three, the living benefits. Use your life insurance while you're alive for illness, income, or emergencies. For example, let's say you're 50 years old and diagnosed with a chronic illness. You're not terminal, but it impacts you being able to go to work full time. So your policy includes a living benefits rider which allows you to accept part of the death benefit early, sometimes up to 75%, which can cover loss of income, home modifications, medical bills, caregiving expenses, and as a result, you don't go bankrupt while you're going through treatment and illness. You just used your life insurance policy to protect your dignity while you're still living. This is why I say you don't have to wait till you're dead. You don't have to wait till you die to start living with the wealth building tools and resources that are available out here today. We just need to know how to use them. We need to know that they're available to us so that we can use them. IULs are the Swiss Army knife of insurance, okay? But when I say they bad, they bad. The IULs, top notch secrets. They protect the future. They provide income to the families. And when life really hits, you need to borrow some money. You can borrow money without penalty. So no more waiting until death to use what you pay for or have been paying for decades. That way we can end having to go to GoFundMe and ask folk to help us take care of whatever we got going on because we put the things in place. We safeguarded our family and we're protecting our businesses. And now we're able to purchase this new kind of life insurance. See, this is what you need to do. You need to go and call me today, drop it in the message, insure me so I can call you. Because we need to stop waiting till something happened to get all our stuff in place. It's not what we're doing. It's not what we're doing. We preparing. Okay, let me drop a truth bomb to you. Stop waiting for somebody to die and go ask perfect strangers to help us out. That's why it's so important to read our policy and to have someone that's educated enough to take the time to educate us what we signing. If you had insurance at your job, understand that that insurance only covers you at your job if you get hurt on your job. And guess what? If you get fired, you no longer have that insurance, babes. They would transfer you to Cobra insurance so fast and whatever and cut all the other stuff out and your premium go up to like $5,000 a month. You be like, what happened? I thought no, you thought wrong. You didn't read the fine print. Those are group coverages that as long as you are a part of that group coverage, you're only covered by that group because you are part of that group. When you become no longer a part of that group, you got to fend for yourself. That's the truth. You can go ask your HR. I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth. I used to do Aflac. And so many people thought, oh, I can just cancel my other insurance. No, baby, you better keep the other insurance. Aflac is supplemental. What I'm talking to you about right now is not health insurance. I'm talking to you about life insurance. But you need to read the fine print. You want to build wealth while you're alive. No more spaghetti plate fundraisers because somebody passed away. No more panic when emergencies hit. No more. We gotta take responsibility and start using our living benefits while we're living, not just a death plan. Insurance is more than that. So if you would like a free 15-minute consultation about what you have and you don't know what you need, then please send me a direct message to Monique Mobile Green and I will be sure to call you so that we can meet via Zoom to go over your policy. I want to show you how to build wealth through your insurance. I want to review your current insurance coverage to see if it's enough. And let me tell y'all something. That was the saddest day. When somebody needed their policy, and when they finally found it, because they didn't know where it was, and when they finally found it, it had expired. It had not expired. They had missed paying on it. So because they missed it, it lapsed. What is the worst feeling in the world is to think you have something to find out that you need it and don't have it, right? I'd rather need it and not have it. I mean, I'm sorry. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So you want to make sure that you're not just covered, but you're covered by enough. This is especially important for parents with children, business owners, single moms, entrepreneurs who have had entrepreneurs. We really need y'all financial backup plan, especially the way society is changing now. Because some of the goods and services we're offering, people are figuring their way around it. So what happens if all your customers stop? How are you going to survive with your family? Do you have enough money saved up? Or would you prefer to have something in place that has compound interest? You're making the money and you must do your due diligence to protect it. So again, as an investment, I am offering a 15-minute clarity call and Zoom to do a review of your policy for free. However, along with that, if you would like me to customize a policy that will help you build wealth or a plan, normally this is a $47 plan. I'll do it for 27 for you. We want you to have coverage where it's not just about debt, but you want to have a prosperity plan. And I could do that for you in under 30 minutes. I just need to see your budget. I need to see your insurance. And I need to see where you're trying to go. 30 minutes for $27. Come on now. My phone should be blowing up right now. 252-341-8452. My phone should be like, text me. Because it's time out for us waiting and then singing the old poor me song when there are things that we can do to protect ourselves. Let me give you 4 opportunities to level up because I'm almost done. The first opportunity, I need you to move from just watching me to working with me. I've been following, I've been doing these lives for many years. But if you are that person that says, I've been watching these lives, but I haven't taken a step, this is your moment to invest in your growth. Book that clarity call, that free 15-minute clarity call, so that we could talk to define what's your next, whether it be your goals, your relationships, your business structure or business plan, your legacy plan, which I'll go over that in a few minutes, your financials, your confidence, your healing, your money relationships, protection plans such as life insurance or business compliance, or even a succession plan. Who you gonna pass your business on to if something happened to you? You gonna wait until you can't talk to do that? These are things that we really need to consider and we really need to move on. Okay. If you want to work with me, I definitely want to work with you. And so to get this ball rolling, all you gotta do is send $27 cash out, put your name in there, and let me know what it is you want to work on. But I also need your phone number and or email so I have a way to contact you. $27. $27. $27. The 15-minute insurance review is free. But if we're gonna talk about other things, it's $27. Regular price 47, 27 tonight. I'm excited. I have something to show you. I'm so excited. I got something to show you. I got something to show you. I got something to show you. You ready? Are you ready? Okay. This is Booyah! Y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Insure and assure the legal protection and wealth plan journal. This is your peace plan. It says documented, protected. I can't talk right now. It says documented, protected, preserve it, and pass it on. This book, every household needs. Everybody. Because it helps you master your mindset, move your mission, multiply your money one page at a time. This book that I wrote, booyah! Let me tell you what's inside. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you what's inside. I can't give it to you, but I can show it. I can tell you about it. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. There's a welcome letter that welcomes you to this book that tells you about each page is designed to help you reflect, document, and decide, not from a place of fear, but from a place of faith, focus, and empowerment. This is your sacred space to organize the practical and protect the spiritual, to be proactive about your wealth, yes, wise about your wishes, and rooted in your purpose. I'm telling you, this book will help you in a moment of crisis. Because a lot of times, and I gotta say this, and I know I'm gonna make somebody mad. I can't tell you about other folk families, but I could tell you from African American culture. I'm gonna give you a scenario and see if you ever heard this before. Mama got about 7 children. And of the seven, the oldest moves away, moves out the house, and left with the rest of the kids, because the oldest moved to the city somewhere, and left about 2 children back home with mama. Them two children that's back home with mama. Mama got sick. When mama got sick, them two children helped mama out. And they were staying in the house with mama. And then mama passed away. God forbid. When them two children were the babies of the family. Yeah, they might have gave mama the hard time. But they were the ones that were there helping mama with her medicine. They would help her comb her hair. They would help her put her clothes on. They were washing her back, keeping the house and the yard clean. Mama did this. Mama did this. The children did this for their mama, right? When mama passed away, mama didn't have a will. Couldn't find mama insurance policy, so now all seven of the kids got to get together, put their money together, figure out how to bury her. And the funeral cost about $15,000 because everybody had to have family car. Everybody at the end of the funeral mad as all get out because somebody always paid more money than somebody else. So the person that end up paying the most money, they, sometimes they're a little snooty. They be like, yeah, I did it, so it's gonna be the way I want it. I don't care what y'all say. No, I'm good and well that mama told the younger two children that stayed in the house what she wanted. And when she told them younger two children what she wanted, they were like, okay, mom, we're going to make sure your wishes are carried out. But when they tried to tell the oldest children was like, I know mama didn't want that because my money ain't going to go by that. So then he go to the youngest children trying to figure out how to pay for the $15,000 funeral, even though they were the ones that couldn't work because they stayed home and took care of mama. Or they took care of dad. Okay. Insurance was missing. The will was missing. They let the house go in probate so nobody could stay in the house. Mama bank account froze. So even though mama had a little cushion in there because she was always helping all her kids make sure they was good, she had about $30,000 in there that could have paid for the funeral, but because mama didn't put nobody else's name on the account, can't get to the money. So then all them doctor bills that came in because there wasn't the proper type of insurance ate up to $30,000, but you can't pay $30,000. So guess who the bill went to? Somebody got paid. So now the oldest one really mad because now I gotta go take care of all mama bills and ain't none of y'all helping me. Okay. Why does this have to be the scenario? So now the younger two kids, the ones that posted up the GoFundMe account because they know what mama really wanted. Mama didn't want to go to that funeral home. Mama wanted that funeral home. But the oldest one said, we're going to wear green, but mama had already told them to wear purple. Told the youngest ones. There's a whole nother problem here. The lack of communication. Because a lot of times older people feel like I ain't going nowhere and I ain't going to have this conversation because I don't want to speak my death into existence. But now you left the whole family that you worked so hard to keep together, glued together. Now they're broken apart because of the lack of communication, the lack of documentation, the lack of protection. Why? Why? Not necessary. So this is why I created this book. So that we can have clarity over chaos. So that we can have faith over fear. Because see, faith without them works is dead. So instead of us walking in fear, I'm scared something gonna happen to my mom and daddy. I'm scared something gonna happen to me. I could walk in the faith that I put the right things in place. And so if something happened, nobody is scared. We are walking and working proactively as a family. That way we don't become unglued. And we're also working with strategy over silence. So this is why this book was created so that we could secure life, we could secure wealth, and we could secure wishes with purpose, peace, and power. And I'm going to say it again. We have to begin the journey of securing life, our wealth, and our wishes with purpose, peace, and power. So after the welcome letter, of course, there's my forward. Tell you a little bit about the author. You want to know a little bit about me? I give you just a little snippet. I have 30 years of experience across education, behavior health, compliance consulting, coaching, community empowerment, and ministry. Ministry, not 30 years, but I have been working with kids in the ministry for that long. I've been in the ministry. I guess you could say that. I am a multifaceted leader, fueled by a multi-passionate purpose and focused on delivering multi-purpose impact. I'm a serial entrepreneur, consultant, educator, spoken word poet, nickname Mohai. And I teach you based on the experiences that I live and the things that I see to be problems that need some solutions. But I'm going to bring it to you with some soul, some strategy, and structure because I believe that I will change every room that I enter. And I believe that I will command every stage that I step on. And I will turn every table for impact that I sit at. My mission is to help people master their mindset, move their mission, and multiply their money. but you got to protect your purpose. So that is why I wrote this book. Okay. So then I'm going to show you what it's looked like. This is the beginning of what the legacy protection and wealth plan looks like. It snapshots and captures, not snapshot, it captures all of your pertinent information from your kids and your spouse social, date of birth. And this is supposed to be kept under lock and key. It has checklists. Those checklists would include your end of life paperwork, your healthcare issues, opinions, and options. It will take care of ask you questions about your trust, your estate plan. Do you have an updated will? What about your personal communications with your family? I'm gonna tell you the favorite one that I like. It say, don't forget to say these 6 things to your loved ones, your friends, and your enemies. I'm sorry. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. It's okay if you're tired and want to die. And goodbye. There are so many times people are not ready to release the people who are in agony and pain because they love them so much. When truth be told, you have to release them so they can feel released. Sometimes we try to keep people here for us because we know we're going to miss them. But what about the pain they're suffering? What about the dignity that has been compromised for them? So we had to learn to say these things. Um, I want to get to this other part that I think is very important. It deals with the finances. In order to prepare, of course, you want to make sure you have your life insurance. Too many families are losing thousands of dollars for and suffer unnecessary emotional stress because key documents were missing and no one knew where things were. But hopefully tonight that will end with you because I want to take this book and help you sit down and create your legacy plan, your legacy protection, and your wealth plan. It also in this book covers a living will, a durable power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney, last will and testament, your funeral planning declaration, love letters to your husband and your children, how to avoid probate, what are the necessary steps. How would you plan your funeral again? Yeah. Who would you leave to take care of your bills? Well, who's gonna get your personal effects? What are you gonna do with your husband and children? Like, are you gonna tell your husband you better not marry nobody else? I'm gonna tell you that right now, but come back and haunt you. Or are you gonna release him to move on with his life because you're no longer gonna be here, or vice versa? It also includes a list of contacts of people that if something happens to me, this is who I want to be contacted. It also has entries for who has the key to your house so they can come out and check on you if you sick. I'm on my island. I don't want nobody to come check on me. I don't need nobody. You know how many people that I've helped at funeral homes that I had to go do their hair because nobody checked on them and they sat in their house for 3 or 5 days dead. This is real. This book also includes a list of your physicians. So if you can't call, somebody could call your doctors and know what needs to happen. Who do you give a key to your house? Where are the titles to your vehicles? What about your bucket list? What about the things that you are saying? These are things that I want to accomplish before I leave. What about your personal passwords? Because a lot of times when people pass away, their things are still posted. Their things are still posted. Their Facebook page and all of that stuff is still posted online. Where are all your insurance policies? Are they all together? Is everything up to date? Has it been reviewed to make sure you have enough, or do you have too much? What about your assets? Are they all in one place? Do you know where all your deeds are to your houses? Because I know you have more than one. What about all your bank accounts and account numbers? Because guess what? If you don't have someone alive on your bank account, on the paper, on the actual screen, then your bank account will get locked up and nobody will be able to access any of the funds out of your account if you drop dead. What about your IRAs, your other investments? Where are they? Who the funeral director gonna be? I have a whole section for planning your own funeral. That way you don't have to worry about your kids taking you somewhere where you don't want to be. But also you put money in place so that you could be in the right place. Also, obituary notes. If you have any special requests, you need to plan your own stuff while you can do it yourself. Again, this is so important. that you outline these things for yourself. And I wrote this book specifically for this particular Facebook Live. If you have a business, what is your business continuity plan? You need to have your business name, the type, the EIN, or the MPI, the license and renewal dates, because somebody's going to have to keep that up unless you want the business to fold. What are your logins? Who's your emergency successor and their contact information? Where are your operation manuals located? Where's your financial system access? Where's your vendor and client list? Bet you hadn't thought about it, huh? Okay, and then my why. This is like section 8. Why I built my business and why did I choose this mission? And then another section talks about what I hope my legacy teaches to others and how do I want to be remembered. People got to make up stuff on obituaries, and sometimes when the funeral man, he don't even know how to pronounce your name because he trying to make up something because he don't know you because you ain't been in no local church. So at least they could refer back to this book to pull out things that you shared about yourself. Then there's another section about legacy, reflection, and final affirmations. What are the things that is your life message that you want to leave as valued beliefs and words of wisdom that has shaped your life to maybe your kids or to others? Another section talks about faith reflections and scriptures that you say prayed up on, or prayers that you have read, or spiritual requests and final wishes. And then there's a gratitude tracker where you can say, these are the things that I've been grateful for, and I will continue to be grateful for. The things that stand out to you the most: a love letter to your husband or children or other loved ones, a reflection and annual review. Now, this is my favorite part. You get it notarized and verified, and you take this whole book and you record it at the courthouse. So that if something happens, somebody that you trusted knows to go get that book. Because now it's a legal document that can be used in a court of law for your wishes to be carried out. Boy, when I tell you I was so excited about writing this, because I've had so many people to ask me the question, what do I do now? So right here is the back of the book. And the back of the book is a place where it says this is where you can organize your critical documents and financial information. Document your wishes for health, wealth, and your afterlife care. Pass on knowledge, stories, and values that matter most. And build a legacy of love, leadership, and intentional wealth. Tonight, I have poured out to you what I think is so powerful, and you moving to your next level. There are thousands of you that will watch this, but only some of you will take action because you are ready to get results. Your next level is not in the replay of this, it is in your response. So tonight, I want you to repeat after me. I will lead with wisdom. I will move with power. I will grow with purpose. I will rise with strategy. My legacy is not waiting, it's becoming. So I will not be a spectator, but a participator, and I will act today. Don't forget, that book needs to be a part of your family. It's just like passing on $1 million. In my closing declaration, I want to remind you that we teach what we learn. We protect what we've earned. We lead with wisdom and we build with faith, and we rise with clarity and confidence. We are not here to just consume. We are here to contribute, command, and climb. Tonight, we have learned how to lead our legacy. Our strategy will spark success. We will not be passive. We will participate in our rise because rising is necessary. I do not, and you do not, and we do not wait for tragedy to prepare. We protect our future with wisdom today. We name our money, and our money makes money moves with purpose. Our legacy is secure, and our strategy is strong. We are a student of our own growth. We lead with wisdom, not just titles. We teach from truth, and we rise from reflection. We were born to teach. We were born to transform. We were born to triumph. And today, I need for all of us to walk in it boldly. I thank you so much for being a part of this Facebook Live. As I always say, if you have questions, you have you want to book that clarity call for the insurance, don't forget that one is free. But if you want me to write out a plan, a prosperity plan, so that we can get to our next level, that's $27. Only $27. And I am telling you, I am giving you the business. Okay. That book, oh, I ain't tell you how much the book was. That book is $47. But along with that book comes me helping you complete it so that I get a chance to help you document, record, and make sure that everything is in it that needs to be in it so that on your final days, you don't have to be worried about whether you have it or not. You know you have it. In my closing, don't forget you can visit me at www.elev, the number 8, NUSERVICES.com, Elevating You Services. And you can also email me at info, at Elevating You Services, ELEV, the number 8, NU Services.com. Come here. I'm close. You listen? Can you see me? Know that I love you. But most importantly, Jesus loves you best. And guess what? It ain't nothing you can do about it. When I tell you, you are going to rise, and I'm excited about your journey. Hang in there. We have to get ourselves together, get our house in order, get our paperwork in order, get our children in order, get our finances in order, because time is ticking. All right. So you all have a beautiful evening. Don't forget, clarity call for your insurance review is free. The clarity call for all other things that you may be interested in accomplishing is $27. And this journal, this life history journal, it'll be packaged a little differently for you. It's $47. All you have to do is send a cash out to $ELEV, the number 8, NUSERVICES. That's $cash out to get your copy. And I will make sure that you get your copy. Okay. You can also call me at 252-341-8452 so that we can set up your clarity call and we can set an appointment to begin your journey of your legacy protection and wealth plan. You all have a beautiful evening. I hope you learned something and that you were blessed. Have a good night.